I suppose we should really talk about what I think you and I spoke about beforehand. Steve Bruce is getting a shot. There's no surer thing than that.
Yeah, he's gone.
Whatever. I think there was a poll, if I read it right the other day, 94% of Newcastle fans or something like that wanted Steve Bruce gone. But we were having a bit of a conversation beforehand about who could realistically come in. Now, you mentioned Conte and Eddie Howe, but there was another name that you'd said one of your mates threw at you, and I think that's interesting.
So the name that my friend threw at me earlier was Steven Gerrard being the next Newcastle United manager. And now a lot of people straight away would suggest that could be a good move. And in terms of him joining Newcastle, the next step for his career, because we've saw at Rangers, he's done a very impressive job. He took that league title off of Celtic. He put Rangers back onto their pedestal. Even this season, where yet they're not undefeated and they haven't done as well in Europe as they did last season, they're still top of the league. They're still doing the job they need to do. And Gerrard plays lovely football. He hasn't got Rangers as a back five getting them to win the league. He's got them playing exciting football, even in Europe. They were outplaying teams and they were giving them a problem. And I just think with Gerrard and his coaching staff, which is always very important within a football club, I think at Newcastle that's exactly what they need, because they're going to back someone like Steven Gerrard. Because you said it, not to take one of your points, but I'm going to do it anyway. He's a character. He's someone that the players will run for. He'll work for them. And if you're there being approached by a legend like Steven Gerrard, someone, for example, like Jude Bellingham that admired Steven Gerrard, and he's there talking to you about the philosophy and talking about all these players that we can now keep in and bring in because it's the Newcastle way. We can pay you a lot of money. That to me already makes sense. And I mentioned Antonio Conte before and talking about, yeah, you can throw a lot of money at Antonio Conte and bring him in now, or a top class manager, something like that. But not right now does that make sense. It's not the time. Newcastle is still a relegation battle team. Get someone who can just slightly take them above that. For example, Graham Potter at Brighton. I'm not saying bringing him in at Newcastle, even though he'd probably be a good fit, but what he's done at Brighton, getting them to the Prem, keeping them in the Premier League on a very low budget, and making them play nice football. Their problem's always been not having a striker. Newcastle shouldn't have that problem no more, because they're going to be able to go and buy whoever the fuck they want when it gets to a certain stage. So I think that would make sense.
Yeah, I think. See, I think this is a bit selfish of me, but I look at the Gerrard situation at Rangers and I think, right, good club, doing well up there, fair play. But if he was to go and manage Liverpool, James, in 2024, when Herr Klopp leaves, and look, we all hope he extends and we all hope that Klopp stays a little bit longer. But
let's say likely he's going to go.
Let's say Gerrard did go down to Newcastle, let's say, for 2 years. Probably be a great bridge for Newcastle as a club to, stabilise themselves, attract some players across, and then a decent step for Gerrard to step up to us if he does rather well with Newcastle. Now, look, I'm clutching at straws here, I know, but I still think he needs that link, Gerrard, before he comes to Liverpool, somewhere else before he goes straight from Rangers into the job at Liverpool, which he probably will someday.
Yeah, listen, it'd be good to see him get that Premier League experience, but just to play a little bit of devil's avocado for you, my mate, I just think of it as, if Gerrard joins Newcastle and they're building a plan, because that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to get Gerrard in to build a philosophy. They're not just going to get him in for short-termism, because he hasn't really proven that short-term, even though at Rangers, but at that type of level. So I just think of it as, if he goes there and it goes well, for example, like Brendan Rodgers at Leicester, if Arsenal usually go in for Brendan Rodgers, they're going to get Brendan Rodgers. If they go in for Brendan Rodgers now, not really, because he's got a plan there at Leicester City, even though right now they're not playing the best football, but won the FA Cup and they've got better every season. There's something to invest into there. If Gerrard isn't given a reason to leave, by the time it gets to 2024, he could be very comfortable in a Newcastle job, competing for European places, being given a budget to go ahead and spend, being backed by the fans, as we know he will. He will be backed by the fans, because everything that he says is gold. And it's just that they'll be able to relate to him in some way on top of that. And I just think maybe it could delay his move to Liverpool, and then by then you don't know what we're doing. We could have a better manager, which is great, but I just mean, this whole dream that we've got of Gerrard coming to Liverpool, this could really put like a sort of, let's just say, a spanner in the works, because that's the way I could see it going.
Yeah, I'm still torn on the Gerrard's Liverpool thing, because you always have that fear, don't you, that it might not work out. You don't want his reputation tainted in any way, because he's fucking Stevie G. Do you know what I mean? The man can walk on water.